Stand back. I'm about to name drop an ancient evil that I haven't talked about in a couple of years now. Poopsie Slime Surprise Unicorns. This was a very expensive toy that was marketed towards children, and the whole concept is it's a unicorn that poops into a toilet. There's two models, one that just sings about defecating, and then one where kids can become their own little Walter White, and instead of making meth, they're making feces, and it'll poop it out into a toilet. I made a video on it almost 3 years ago now. It's actually where that woo yeah baby meme comes from. It was from the Poopsie Slime Surprise video. And I made quite a bit of content around it because I was so blown away by the concept. It's just a toy that shits. That's it. And yet it's extremely popular with kids. I understand I'm getting older now, and aging is cringe, but there's no way I'm that out of touch. What the fuck is the joy of watching a plastic unicorn take a shit? I still don't fully understand it. And it's not just Poopsie. It spawned an entire wave of shitters. So there's a flamingo that shits called Gotta Go Flamingo. There's also a couple other animals that do it as well. And it's all just about a dilated butthole fucking dumping slime into a toilet and calling it shit. It's wild. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about Poopsie today is because they're actually getting sued by the Black Eyed Peas because Poopsie Slime Surprise made a parody of their song, My Humps. It's called My Poops. I'm not going to play any of it for you now because it could now be a bit of a legal issue if I was. But the song goes, my poops, my poops, my poops. What you going to do with all that poop? Whoop, whoop. I'm going to get loopy off my poopy. And it continues, and it's very clearly supposed to be a play off My Humps. Apparently they didn't have permission for it and are being sued by the Black Eyed Peas now, which is just a wacky lawsuit because it has to talk about Poopsie and shitting unicorns and comparing it to the Black Eyed Peas music. This is going to be a lawsuit to keep an eye on. This might be a industry-defining moment. This is a big one, no doubt. I went over it on stream, reading about it. I was actually surprised to learn that apparently a parody like My Poops is often protected by fair use regulation. I was under the impression that when you're borrowing other melodies and music from existing tracks, you had to pay for the licensing rights to use it, like the same way you do if you're using samples from other songs in your music. You have to pay for the sample. I thought it worked like that for a parody song as well. But I guess there's actually a bit of gray area there and some wiggle room, so there is a chance Poopsie Slime Surprise walks out with a W from this lawsuit. But then again, they could absolutely get flushed down the toilet. But hey, like I said, I'm not entirely sure. It's an interesting and goofy lawsuit nonetheless. There is a chance Poopsie Slime Surprise emerges from the sewer victorious. But anyway, I'll go over some of the stream moments here while I was reading about it and expanding on it. Did you hear about the South Park lawsuit? No, but you did just remind me of one I haven't talked about yet. The Black Eyed Peas are suing Poopsie Slime Surprise. I totally forgot to talk about that. You remember that pooping unicorn? The shit that gave me an involuntary vasectomy when I was getting out of the packaging? They're getting sued because of their track. So Black Eyed Peas, My Humps ripped off by pooping unicorn toy lawsuit claims, which it was. I don't know if I can even play the song, considering this is now a legal issue, but the song goes, my poops, my poops, my poops, gonna get loopy off my poopy. It's very much a rip-off of My Humps, and I guess they didn't have permission to do that, which is interesting. Doesn't fall in the parody. Well, you still need permission to do a parody. If you're using the exact same, like, everything, you still need permission. That's why Weird Al never made a Prince song, because Prince would never give him permission. Oh, I forgot how expensive the Poopsie Slime Surprise is. $100 to $300 on Amazon. And one of them doesn't even shit itself. The one that slammed into my nutsack, that one actually doesn't shit itself, whatever. And it's still super expensive. That one just sings and dances. If you want the one that actually cooks up and, like, brews feces, it's a big science project. Matt and I made like 3 videos with the Poopsie Slime Surprise a few years back. I know this toy inside and out. I performed like colonoscopies on this thing. So yeah, I know all about the entire animals shitting themselves genre of children's toys. This is the clip, this is the video where the whoa yeah baby clip comes from. This one, yeah. This has been in circulation for a long time. I'm surprised they've waited like 2 or 3 years to sue them. Maybe they were trying to make sure that it got maximum money, so they were letting it ride for a long time so that way they could like sue for more, because they could claim more damages and they can turn to like the profit the Poopsie makes, because it's apparently a very popular toy, which I would have never guessed. That would have been a galaxy brain scheme, and it's probably exactly what the reasoning was. People pay for unicorn shit when I can send you shit for free. Why would you do that, though? That just costs you money to send the shit. This is kind of a weird paragraph. BMG's lawyer alleges that My Poops infringes on Black Eyed Peas' surprise 2005 hit single My Humps, 75% of whose publishing rights belong to BMG thanks to a corporate acquisition. What's the point in mentioning that it was a surprise hit? It feels so weird. And then, I guess the corporate acquisition is pertinent to the case, but still. Interesting to just mention that it's a surprise hit single. It was the Black Eyed Peas. They didn't make anything that flopped during that era. So, going into this, I felt like the Black Eyed Peas had a pretty strong case, but listening to them argue it is kind of silly. It uses a similar delivery and vocal inflections as used by Fergie on the original sound recording. I just couldn't disagree more. I'd love to pull up the song real quick, but I don't want to get slapped by this somehow. It's very clearly like a Alvin and the Chipmunks style vocal. Fergie doesn't sound like that. That's just like an insult to Fergie to compare her to the shitting unicorn vocalist. It's pretty dumb. But, I mean, overall, yeah, they did rip the song, and I guess it was without permission. Oh, interesting. MGA Entertainment first released the toy in time for Christmas 2018. The suit alleges that when BMG became aware of the infringement, it sent a cease and desist letter, which they ignored. What a fucking Chad. Yeah, we make a unicorn that shits into a toilet for kids. What of it? We're gonna play hardball. Fuck your cease and desist. Oh, interesting. The company could argue that My Poops is a parody of My Humps and thus protected as fair use. In Campbell vs. Acuff Rose Music in 1994, Supreme Court held that the parody can be a form of comment or criticism on the original work, which is protected. I thought you couldn't do that for music, though. Am I misremembering? Because for Weird Al, Weird Al never did a parody of a Prince song and never will. Because Prince didn't want him to. Now, was that just out of respect? Because I thought it was a legal thing. Okay. I was misunderstanding then. All of this over a defecating unicorn.